Hey guys, and welcome to Riggs Garage. Today is video number 2 on the Mustang T5 transmission swap. In the last video, I showed you putting the engine, the transmission together, and the details about that. The engine's in the car. Now I'm going to show you the details on the modern driveline cable clutch swap setup. So I'm going to show you the cable that connects the new clutch pedal to the new clutch setup. There was one piece of incorrect information in the last video, and that is the pressure plate that I used. It turns out there are finger length differences between a mechanically actuated clutch versus a cable or hydraulic actuated clutch. I'm going to put a video right up here that shows the differences. I did make a short video to show exactly what that is. Check that out if you are doing this project, and hopefully that helps you. If you like this video, hit that like button. Helps me with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to the Riggs Garage channel. Thank you. Here's the modern driveline cable clutch conversion kit. First of all, there's this addition that you add to your existing clutch pedal. I bought a 69 through 70 clutch pedal from Modern Driveline as well. So this piece is going to bolt on like so, and you will need to clearance this spring perch here, and you will not be reusing your clutch return spring. You can see here, this is where the clutch cable attaches, so when you push on the clutch, this will be solid, but when you push on the clutch, it's going to pull the cable through the firewall. Speaking of cable through the firewall, this bracket goes behind your brake master cylinder. It works for manual and power brakes. So what this is, it's going to sit like this. Your clutch cable will go through. Then when you push your clutch pedal, just pulling it like this. This is threaded, it goes through that clevis. Somewhere in the middle of this cable, it comes with a heat wrap. It says it reduces heat 50%. This should be at least an inch away from the header. Now the clutch cable is going to run behind your engine mount. And with provided hardware, see this right here, you can use an oil pan bolt and secure this right under there, under the oil pan, so it will not move around and get burned by exhaust. And then finally at the end here, this will go into any bell housing that is a cable clutch bell housing. So like a 5.0 Mustang bell housing. This will go right through the round hole there. Pretty slick setup, really. I'm starting the pedal swap, so I'm mocking up parts right now. First thing I did is I pulled the seat out. Then I put this blanket down so I don't have to lay in years of mouse detritus. I got up under the dash. I couldn't really film up under there. I have a headlamp on. Anyway, basically what it is, I got under there and I got this brake pedal out. Had a look at the assembly. The brake pedal's held in by this smooth pin here. And at the end, to get the pin off, you just pop this up with a screwdriver, slide it off, and then push the pin through. So that's easy. Now my new pedal from Modern Driveline comes with a slightly longer shaft. This will replace it. And it has a lock nut to go with it here. So now what I'm going to do is get in the assembly, and I'm going to slide this new shaft through its place and make sure it sticks out enough to mount my new pedal up and get a bolt on there and secure it. So that's what I'm going to do, make sure that's good. Also, while you're in here, you have these bushings. These actually look pretty good, but I did order new ones. They're like a couple dollars. One on each side. Check it out. First try. This might have been easier than it should be, but now we have almost 3 pedals. Here's a quick little test fit. Got a 3rd pedal, that's cool. Obviously it's not tightened down, but yeah, we'll need to trim this brake pedal somewhat. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is modify my pedal. So I've got a factory 70 Mustang pedal here, and this Modern Driveline piece goes on top of it. It has this connector that's going to go to the clutch that I just showed, the clutch cable I just showed you. So what you need to do here is, this unit here is for a clutch return spring for the stock setup. Modern Driveline instructions say we're not going to be using a clutch return spring. So what I need to do is notch that out a little bit right here to make this piece hit right here. So when you push on the pedal, it's going to be clear. So I'm going to mark this up and notch it with a grinder. Now we have adequate clearance for this modern driveline piece to butt up against this flat surface on the modern driveline clutch pedal. Now I'm going to bolt it down. Now I'm going to modify the automatic car brake pedal, because obviously this piece of the pedal is going to run into the new clutch pedal. So what I did is I bought a manual transmission brake foot pad. What I'm going to do is slide it on there and make some marks and cut down this original pedal. I'll round the corners nicely with a grinder so it's not going to cut through my new pad. It was like $7 on eBay or CJ Pony Parts, I don't remember now. And here's the end result. Looks awesome. I'm laying upside down on the floor of the car, but I'm putting these new bushings for the brake pedal / clutch pedal shaft. I'm putting them up in there, and I'll attempt to show you where they go. Oh look, yeah, it goes right there. One here, and then one on the opposite side. I did it. Hey guys, we're midway. Can you stop what you're doing? If you like this video, hit that like button for me. That helps the channel. And subscribe if you haven't considered subscribing yet. I appreciate it. Alright, I can't get the shifter bolts in, so I'm dropping transmission crossmember here with a jack, and I'm just going to put the transmission down like an inch so I can get the bolts in on the shifter. Once I get that back up into position, then I can test out my drive shaft. See if I need to make any cuts on that. The issue I'm having is getting these two back bolts in. So what I'm doing here is I just put a piece of tape on the bolt. I'm going to put my gasket maker on the shifter here. Slide it back there. Make sure I can thread both the bolts using some creative 1/4 inch extension here, 13 millimeter. Then obviously I can get these back ones in super easy from the top. And that should get it good. I'm tired of dropping these bolts under the car now, so this is my solution. Here's the original Mustang drive shaft. This is the yoke that goes to the C4. Now it doesn't actually have splines until right here. That's not going to work for the T5 swap. The T5 needs to have a full splined yoke. So I have this weird one that came with my swap. It seems to fit perfectly. It's splined all the way to the end here. So I'm going to put this on the original drive shaft using this vise that weighs 100-something pounds and is over 100 years old. So that's what I'm going to do next.
Looks like we need a smaller U-joint than what we got at the car parts store.
So I guess it's off to the car parts store.
So we got the new part, and Daddy's trying to install it, I think. Yeah. And it's not working for him.
It's working fine.
Is it?
Everything's good.
Nothing seems to be cooperating with you.
Here's a look at that yoke. What I did is I pushed it until it bottomed out on the transmission, and then I set it in the back U-joint yoke on the rear end, and it pulled out right around an inch. So I am going to run this drive shaft as it sits. That's amazing news. I'm excited that I can spend that $100 on maybe a hood scoop or something instead of the drive shafts, instead of the Driveshaft shop.
Hey Dad, do the bear song that he did when he was sketching his back.
It's just a bare necessity, a simple bare directions. Forget about all your worries and your strife. Yeah, man. Alright, let's get that cable bracket on the firewall. Alright, looks like I need to take this top bolt out of this bracket. Here's a look at the bracket. It's got two locators. You have studs coming through the wall here, and it has little grooves to locate the plate really nicely on there. I put this bolt in here, and then right here is where your clutch cable is going to go. So the instructions say that I need to go in here and mark a hole, center punch it, and then drill a 3/8 hole in the cowl here that'll go through into my new pedal. Looks like I'll need to take this O-ring out, slide this into the bracket, and put the O-ring back on. That'll hold it in place for installation. And you can see how the adjustment works here. You just change this and it's going to change the length of the cable, making your pedal different. Alright, I got the clutch cable threaded into the clutch pedal. I've got my helper down here moving it in and out. What I'm doing is seeing that it is operating, and I'm looking to make sure that cable is not rubbing on the firewall hole that I made, and I don't think it is. I'm going to push it up and you'll hear it scrape on the firewall. That's scraping when I let go. I think it is scraping a tiny bit on the bottom. It's scraping there. So yeah, the cable's barely rubbing on the bottom of the hole that I drilled through the firewall. However, I did notice that there's a slotted hole on the modern driveline clutch pedal edition. And I put it at the very bottom. So what I'm going to do is just adjust it up a little bit, and it should be straight in the center of that hole because it's clear on the right and the left and top. Here I am under the car, and I've fed the cable grommet through the tab here on the cable clutch bell housing. This is going to reach through, activate my clutch, and I should be able to adjust it down here as well. Also note that the header clearance here is very, very tight. This is the header right here. In fact, I wonder if I can even bolt this header up without touching the bell housing. I'm bolting my header in so I can get a very, very good read on clearance down below. Gotta know. I gotta know if this long tube header is gonna fit that tab, is gonna hit that tab on my bell housing. So I want to get a very realistic mock-up here. Almost there. For the people that say this will reduce horsepower, there is an Engine Masters episode on Motor Trend and probably on YouTube that definitely says differently. They bash up headers in that episode. It's really cool. But should I be out of breath? Well, after beating the crap out of my old headers in that one tube, I went ahead and ordered these Chinese shorties from Small Block Ford. And they supposedly fit my chassis. So we're going to find out if they fit. Alright, I set the header in. It went in from the top, no problem. However, I am having a clearance issue. It's hitting on my steering box right there. So I'm going to ding that. And it's also hitting on my ARP head bolt right there. So I'm going to mark all this up with a marker and make a few small dings. Hopefully that's all I need to do. On the back side here, this one cleared the head bolt no problem. However, I'd had to do round 2 on this front side. This header is hitting over here on the frame rail when I bring it to the right angle. So it's just probably going to rattle all the time. So I could clearance the frame rail, or I could run the long tube header on this side that the exhaust is already plumbed for. That's super redneck, and I think I'm going to do it for now. Alright guys, that is the full T5 swap, minus hooking up your speedometer cable, which goes right in. I hope this helped some of you. Hit that like button and subscribe to the Riggs Garage channel. Thank you!